So this time of year is the lull, so to speak, in the Flesh and Blood cycle. It's after Worlds, but before the kickoff in January, before we start the cycle all over again. Now, during this time, it's not atypical to see a bit of a retraction in singles prices, with the exception, of course, being speculation on the next set's heroes. But since January 26's set Pen is an expansion set and all classes are, at least in theory, set to get a boost, combined with also the fact that there's a lot of other IPs kind of entering the market right now, and it's Christmas time and there's money to be spent elsewhere, right now there's actually a lot of really great buys in the Fab Singles marketplace. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. Welcome back to the channel, and thanks for tuning in here on your Flesh and Blood Friday as we kick off the second week of Skirmish Season 13, headed into the very end of OP for, well, it would have to be the end of OP for the year since it's almost the end of the year now, wouldn't it? But you get what I mean. We restart the cycle in early January and start the whole thing all over again. So in this meantime, as I mentioned in the intro, we typically do see retractions with the exception of people forecasting on things. But right now, this particular season that we're in is a little bit different, and it's led to a lot of really attractive buys out there. Plus, there was quite a bit of Super Slam, and the set wasn't totally sought after. So prices on Super Slam, with a couple exceptions, are pretty low. So what I wanted to do today was look at kind of some of my top picks across, I don't know why I'm using top picks as air quotes, some of my top picks in terms of really attractive buys right now. Now, whenever we talk about stuff like this, we always have to put it into context of I have a player's focused view on this. So this is not like, oh, you should go do a buyout of XXX card. It is, hey, if you are interested in playing the hero that this is associated with, or if you don't have 3 copies of this card, it's a very useful card that you should probably go pick up before it jumps to $10 or something like that. This is not something that's going to get you rich, but it's something that's going to save you from saying, you know what, I wish I'd bought that when it was $2, and now I don't want to spend 15 on it. That's the point of this video, right? So make sure you approach that with the correct mindset. This is not market speculation. This is me saying, hey, these cards might be pretty darn good. And the one I want to start with is Blood Follows Blade out of Super Slam. This is the Kassai spec that, again, does crazy things at worst. I know it's a reaction and not a non-attack, but it's functionally a yellow hit and run, I guess. Actually, I guess you don't get the +2. Well, yeah, because you'd play for 4. So it's functionally a yellow hit and run, but you get the reaction and a Cell Sword. This card's really good. It made Kassai a lot better. Not good enough to rule the meta yet, but I think that's my point, right? So 67 cents for this card currently on. So all of the prices we're going to be using are US TCG player, but in general, they track within certain amounts of demand, right? 67 cents on TCG player for Blood Follows Blade. Seems like a good buy to me because Kassai is someone who they've been supporting. She's part of the storyline. I think Kassai is important. She's also a fan favorite from a certain point of view. She's going to be around, so make sure that you have your 3 copies if you're a Warrior player, or if you just like Kassai, or if you want to chase it, and so on. Next one is Arc Lightning. So this is available in 2 differents. There's the one from Rosetta, and there's the one from the Armory deck. They're both exactly the same price at 58 cents. Sometimes those things, deviate a little bit. Choose the cheaper one. But the reason I'm on Arc Lightning is we know for a fact, because it's been promised, that Aurora's coming back. It was hinted very strongly, if not even, actually, I'm pretty sure it was outright said, but again, things change. But it was outright said that she'll come in the spring set. I believe it was outright said. You can check me in the comments if I'm wrong, but either way, we are very positive, and Aurora's on the way. This thing is crazy, right? This card is amazing. The new Aurora is going to be really good, even if she's printed with blank card text. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do. She will probably take some bans, like maybe she'll take some bans. I wouldn't be surprised if, the whole Skizzik package, it's not Skizzik, it's the one that pulls it that I can't think of course, because I can't right now, even though I play the dang card all the time, right? It's the yellow that pulls it. You know what I'm talking about. That one might get banned, but this one, her spec, I don't think is going to. And at 58 cents to make sure that you have a full set of Arc Lightnings if you ever want to play Aurora, think it's a pretty good buy. This next one is a bit of a speculation. Now, Sonic Boom is purely a play on the fact that I do think Blaze becomes an adult hero at some point. That is, so I said it wasn't speculation in terms of market speculation. I think Blaze is going to become an adult hero. If you don't have Sonic Boom, you should probably have 3 of those, because like, pretty good with Blaze, right? And again, we'll see what else she gets and how things evolve, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to want 3 Sonic Booms for Blaze if you ever decide you want to play Blaze. If you're not a Wizard player, don't worry about it. Okay? But $1, just shy of $1 for the black border. Some people like the white border too. Or if you don't care, save a quarter. Doesn't seem worth saving a quarter to me, but hey, there you go. Beat of the Iron Song. I would not be surprised if Dorinthea gets significantly better in this next set. I personally think they want Dorinthea to go. And I'm talking OG Dorinthea here, right? Dawnblade Dorinthea. I think they want her to go because she slays their beloved board state heroes, right? And kind of throws that whole thing off. Not in a bad way, in my opinion, but I do think they want her gone. And they keep giving her tools to get better, better, and better. And Beat of the Iron Song, especially because also we have the holodeck out in the future. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if there's some cards out of the holodeck that also play with counters. So, you know, again, this is Dawnblade specific, so you're limited in that play there. So it's not a spec, right? But it's Dawnblade specific. But if we get things with counters, if Dorinthea gets some other cool thing, this card could be in very high demand. And this card is very, very, very good. So at 75 cents, just have 3 of these on hand if you ever think you want to play Dorinthea. Next, we have, this is 2 of them together, but for good reason. This is a Marlin play. Okay, King Kraken Harpoon and King Shark Harpoon, $2 and $1.25 respective. There's a lot of folks out there who really like Marlin. I mean, she's actually been doing some things in certain formats, right? If you ever think that she's going to get good, just go make sure you have 3 of these. Now, keeping in mind, you know, Codex is a thing, right, and all that. And if you don't have that, maybe this isn't one you chase. But these cards are really cheap for what they can do with Marlin. And I think they're going to make Marlin better. She seems to also be a very popular kind of like side hero. So that's a play there. That leads me to Return Fire. Now, Return Fire is not a Marlin play in the strictest sense. This is a straight up Ranger play. This card at just shy of $2 is crazy. This card is really, really, really good. Yes, it's a block, but that's about the only downside of it. It's a red block for 4, and then it lets you banish to even protect a card from something else in terms of hand disruption, and it gives an embolism on top. Oh my god. This card is crazy good. The only reason, in my opinion, that it is where it is because there were no Rangers ruling the meta when it came out, so there wasn't a big run on it, but I believe that every person who has ever played Ranger when they open these has kept them. And again, I think this is a situation where you want to have 3 of these because this is a card like a Premeditate Premeditate was always like in the upper 20s, but maybe it was like 15s, whatever in the day. But this is a card that will go to like $10, $12, $8, $10, $12, something like that if a Ranger suddenly becomes possible and good, right? I do believe that. So this is, again, one of the ones that, like I said in the intro, you know, in most of these, you're talking about, oh, Blood Follows Blade might go to like $4, $5, something like that. I think this one goes significantly up if we get a playable Ranger that's like a meta hero, okay? And that brings me to Exude Confidence. I actually have, you know, if you've been around for years now, you know my love for this card. Back when this card was less than $1, it was like number 1 on my make sure you own 3 of these list. This card actually went up into the 10s or 12s range when Aurora was good. It might have been a Zen play too. I don't remember if it was or not, but it was definitely an Aurora. And when everyone was chasing that down for the fact that you could shut D-Reacts off or shut Wizards off for the Chane because this would have Go again, this card was in very high demand. This card, I've seen it through the years do this. Just own 3 of this card. Like, as any flesh, I do believe in my heart that any Flesh and Blood player needs 3 of these. And at $1.30, that seems like a pretty darn good deal. When you're turning and saying, I need 3 CNCs, I need 3 shelters, well, wouldn't you rather, you'd rather have obviously the bigger one. But 3 copies of Exude for $4, it's not even enough for free shipping. You got to get something else. That's right. Just own 3 of these or 6 of them, maybe. Right. There's 181 listings. It doesn't seem like a good buyout target, especially because there's a ton of Mon out there. Right. So that's not what we're driving. Just have 3 of these before it goes to $12 and you're kicking yourself. Okay. Now this one is so Down and Dirty. The cool thing about Down and Dirty is that it, in a way, it has ambush. It effectively does have ambush because it can defend from your arsenal, and it's a popper. So this is purely a illusionist play. It's purely an illusionist spec play, but countering them, right? This card has been up in the 15s during certain metas. The card works really, really well. I believe it was the Lexi meta where Dromai was also doing well as a counter. This card was up, maybe it was the low teens, but you get conceptually my point. This card is really, really, really good. Now, the reason that this card is good in the right meta is because if you're playing in a meta where you need poppers, right? Let's say you draw a popper and they don't attack you with something you can pop. Because you have to defend with a popper to pop, you have to then actually IP yourself to maintain. It's like if you're playing a deck with low poppers, I'm saying, right? So like, say this is 1 of 3, 1 of 6 poppers in your deck. You draw one of them. Under normal circumstances, you have to risk IPing yourself to be able to hold that popper. Right? And then a lot of times they're going to know, I mean, it's not that they can do a ton about it because they still have to progress their game plan, but they generally know that if you're making a substandard play to keep a card in hand and you're not arsenaling it or something, like they're going to sniff it out, right? So this card being able to not make you lose, sure, in an Aurora pop-off turn or something, you'd like to have a bunch of 0/4s. I get it. But if you do this and you can tuck it in Arsenal and not effectively IP yourself, very, very, very strong. So this card, I was actually blown away to see this card at $1.30. So anyway, enough on that card. I think this is also a card that you should have 3 of, not because you're going to use it in every meta, but because when it becomes useful, you're going to wish you had them, and you'll be kicking yourself when it's an $8 card. Okay. Now another one, this is back on the wizard play. This is Kindle. So this is a little more on the pricier side within the context of what we've been talking about at $3. But this is a pretty dirty instant wizard card. And if that's your jam, this card's really good. Right? For the whole ampy-amp thing, drawing a card on top of it for another thing, maybe for resources, whatever it may be, for moon, whatever it may be. If you're going to do on the wizard thing, you probably already have them, but if you don't, or that's something you think you want to do in the future when Blaze comes out, maybe you're upgrading, maybe you only have 2 because you were a Blaze player and you need a 3rd one, go buy it now, because when she comes out, this is going to go up. I don't even know what this would go to. I mean, 90 listings, Part to Misfail. Yeah, but nobody's buying nobody's opening Part to Misfail anymore. I don't know. This seems like one that could go up. Now, the last one I have is the most expensive one. This is Dual Threat. Now, this is more so because Ira is a great entry hero. No argument there. If you are able to get her armory deck, you can play her that way. But Dual Threat Ira is like a very legitimate and very straightforward and easy intro deck. Okay, so if we run into some situation where Ira gets additional support within, it's either it could come in any number of things. It doesn't even have to be necessarily dagger related. Maybe they go kitties. Kitties would work well with this too, right? So Dual Threat, remember, if you've attacked with a weapon and an attack action, then your next weapon or attack action gets +3. So that's why it works really well with like kitties, because like it's a 0, kitty comes in for 0. You also get the +1 on her, right, on the second attack. So you could do like Kadachi, Kadachi for 1, kitty for 1, if you can somehow make it off your boots or something like that. And then set up, a Kadachi for 4 and then something for 7. That's like a basic play. So I think having these around in case Ira gets something that, because you never, like, Ira's such a basic hero that, like, they don't even have to have something specifically for Ira to suddenly make her, like, really creep up. So I think this is a solid one also to consider if that's really your jam. And I know I'm very focused on Ira in this specifically, and that's because, to my knowledge, she's the only one that uses it. But that's for now, right? That's for now. So we could see something else come out. Ira does seem like the current best bet play on it, but I was really surprised to see this at $4. It had been floating in like the 8 to 9-ish range for the longest time. Now that we've started to see a little more hunted, although it's gone at our local store now again. But either way, I think this is a pretty decent one to, and maybe if you don't like it at 4, maybe you keep watching it creep down. But you know how that game goes. You keep watching it creep down, and then all of a sudden it jumps up overnight, right? So that is my call there. Now, I said that was my last one. That's because I added 2, actually added 3 last minute, but they're all one play, so I'll put them up together. We've seen all sorts of Tekla-Vossen advertisements for Pen, and his big boys, Terminator Tank, War Machine, and Annihilator Engine. Those cards, well, they're cheap AF. Okay, we have a $2 card, a $1.15 card, and a 50-cent card. Now, to be fair, the current decks out there have only been playing, at least to my knowledge, have only been playing Terminator and War Machine. Those are the only ones I've had played against me. Maybe I've had Annihilator Engine played against me a handful of times in my career. And that's why this one is probably 50 cents as well. It seems to track. But again, if you get boost as a bad, I mean, maybe he gets a boost card. Actually, he is getting boost cards. Look at that. Pun not intended, but delivered. There you go. But yes, so things could change. Okay. And yes, he only has so much deck space. And he's got to get his Evos. But these cards, again, if you think you ever are interested in Teklo or you think he's going to get good, seems like a pretty good pickup to get these right now. Okay. So that's, sorry for the fake out on the dual threat. I had forgotten I'd added those in at the end. But yeah, those are my recommendations. So anyway, that's really going to cap out the Friday. Hopefully, as we've been going through this, you've been letting me know your comments, your suggestions in the comments. So let me know what else you think is a great buy. Please don't go do a buyout on stuff like this, and not because like emotionally, like that's not the intent of this. I don't think that you're going to get rich, and I don't think that doing anything on that is worth the leveraged investment. I just don't believe it is. But again, you got to do you. But a lot of these, again, make sure you have 3 of them. If you have any plans in the future of even maybe playing the hero, you'll be a lot happier having spent $2 on it on a $5 purchase to get free shipping, slip it into something else versus paying $12 for it later. So anyway, that's my shake. Thanks for watching, my friends, and go Commando.